to Baseball Books and Banter with me, your host, Nicole. So I've decided, because I am the sole owner, sole creator of this podcast, that this is the first episode of season 5. It is January 2026. Um, Things are going off the rails in this country, but we're gonna do our silly little podcast and talk about our silly little books because we all need something to hold on to. Not to get too deep into politics, I understand the privilege I have by saying I'm gonna focus on my silly little books, but sometimes you need an outlet for and a need for comfort. And that's what I find books to be. So this is my comfort. I'm bringing you comfort people to read, books to read, all that good stuff. So our first guest today of the new year, I guess not just today, but the first guest of the new year is someone who put out her debut cozy mystery this year or last year, and her second one's coming out in May. And she just cold scheduled me. She Googled mystery podcasts and my name came up, which is pretty awesome. And so she scheduled, and now I'm reading the book, and it's so funny, guys. Like, if you love Ellen Byron, you'll love this book too. Set in the world of food trucks, which is fascinating. And it's just really fun, guys. So check out Carmela Dutra, who is our first guest of 2026 and of season 5. I'm also doing another interview this weekend with a married writing duo. So stay tuned for that in a few weeks. I'll post that in a week or two. But Carmela is up first, and I'm very excited. But as it is a new year and as it is snowing out, because why not? We're going to do things I'm obsessed with, because this is my podcast and I'm obsessed with things. Obviously, always number one in my heart and mind, Diet Coke. I'm working with the Cozy Cottage to have a tumbler and a pen made of Diet Coke stuff because I love them. So again, Diet Coke, if you're listening, I'm always open for a sponsorship. Or you can just send me free cases of Diet Coke and I would count that as a win, and I would mention you all the time even more. Other things I'm obsessed with. I wanted to talk about two things, two very special TikTok accounts that I follow. They're not special, but they're funny. Cameron Harrison, who is, I don't know if he's new to the sports watching phenomenon, but this year he really exploded with football and he's getting into hockey now. And his saying is, and who the hell is that? And his giggle just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. So shout out to Cameron Harrison, and also Lil Big Liz, who I've been following for a while. She does NBA, and it's a hysterical commentary of different games. And there's always a Grant Williams sighting, even if there's not a Grant Williams sighting, and Tiny Tales. So check out those two if you're into sports, but you want a little more of the humor side. The other thing going around on TikTok right now that this morning I've watched probably 45,000 videos of is the owl impressions. I don't know who started. I think a guy in Scotland started it with, this is my impression of an owl from Scotland. And it has since blown up. I've watched a lot of owls from Boston, like who kid, and gay owls at RuPaul's Untucked, in the back, who, and stuff like that. So if you're into a little humorous little break in your day, check out owl impressions on TikTok. So random, right? Owl impressions. Another thing I'm obsessed with, Legos. So I don't know why, but a couple weeks ago, I bought myself the little mini typewriter creator set from Lego because I was like, I need something to do on a crappy rainy Sunday when football's on and I just kind of want to zone out. And since that day, I have bought the typewriter, I have bought a telephone, a roller skate, the unicorn right here. There's also up here is Eeyore, and then I bought a really crappy one from Amazon that's like bookends that are books, and those were really hard. And today I'm actually working, I'm not working on it yet, but I got 2 cat ones, so I'm going to start working on those during the Patriots game today at 3. So kind of obsessed with building things. Again, it's distraction from the real world, and sometimes that's what you need. So those are what I'm obsessed with currently. Red Sox. So look, I'm going to lean back and talk about this. I love you guys. I love the Red Sox. I love Boston sports. I'm okay with the Alex Bregman being let go or not paying him. He only played for half a season, really. he was a good leadership presence. I don't know if he was the best addition to the team. So I'm kind of cool with that. I'm excited to see how our rotation is going to pan out with Ranger Suarez, who I've heard from reliable Philly fans that he is a good watch, a good guy. And so I'm really into that. I do think we need one more bat and we would be set for the season. But I'm really excited. Videos have started coming out every year. Trevor Story, our second baseman, does a training camp down in Texas where he lives with a lot of the younger players. And yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hype. I'm still bummed about Devers, but I get why he had to go. I'm still all in on Cedar Rafaela because he's just the most adorable little guy you ever did see. And I'm on the Tristan Casas train and Jarren Duran, and I get it. Like, they're not everybody's cup of tea. I don't love Tristan Casas's beard. He has a beard now, or he had a beard at the beginning of this warm-up stuff. But we are 1 month away from spring training. My dad and my brother will be going down again. So I'm going to get some firsthand looks at that. The Red Sox are doing a promo this month or this year for Frida McFadden, who is a local author, and I'm sure you've all seen her tables at Barnes and Noble, just the queen of like popcorn books, and in the best way possible. Like, they're entertaining, they're very thrillery and suspenseful. And so they're doing a Housemaid, which I think just came out as a movie. They're doing a theme night. So because of that, I found a contact for the person that does corporate events or events at Fenway. And I said, hey, that's a great idea. I would love to be able to bring together all my baseball writing book girlies and guys to do some sort of like an adult grown-up book fair, either during this game or have it like tangentially related to another game. Because I have on Threads, I have a million, and you've met Rosie. So you've met Rosie Pease, and she's a baseball romance writer. And then I follow a whole bunch of Phillies fans who are baseball romance writers. And then, of course, the gentlemen who have been on this podcast before, who wrote about Dave McNally. I have another one coming up in March with another gentleman who wrote a baseball biography. So, I mean, we run the gamut of mystery, romance, nonfiction, biographical, children's. So I would really love if we could get together with some sort of ballpark to do a grown-up book fair night day at the ballpark. And then hopefully it's at Fenway so I can see Peggy and be like, Peggy, come buy books. So if you know anybody in the Red Sox organization or in events at, even minor league parks, I emailed the Woo Sox. I've not heard from them either. I'll probably try reaching out Procton Rocks again, but that's a little bit smaller. That'd be just a couple authors, but we'll see what happens. I mean, you got to shoot your shot. And we talk a little bit about that in the podcast as well. As a baby author, you're kind of like, I don't know what to do. And really, it's just all about getting out there. The worst thing somebody's going to do is say no. And you have to learn to harden your heart to the no's because they are plentiful. But there's a lot of times you'll be surprised about what you get and how people respond to you. So in that vein, I guess I should talk about the other Boston sports. Patriots are playing today for the AFC divisional round against the Texans. It's a snow day. Right now it's just light snow, but it's supposed to be pretty heavy during the game. So we'll see what happens. Again, anything after winning more games than last year is a win. And because we're one step away from the divisional championship, which is 2 steps away from the which now means we're 2 steps from the Super Bowl, is like, after last year only winning 4 games, to win 14 games and be at the second round of the playoffs, pretty kick butt. So I'm rooting for them hard. Obviously, the Bills lost last night. That was a weird game. The 49ers got blown out. That was a weird game. So we'll see what happens. The Bruins, very much a roller coaster this season. They've won 2 in a row, I think, or no, not 2 in a row. It's like 4 or 5 in a row. But they also go for a lot of win streaks, and then they go for like a losing streak, and then they go for a win streak and a losing streak. So I can't get my head around them. But I did get my first Bruins jersey this year for Christmas. It's a David Pasternak jersey. My brother got me McAvoy, but he also thought I was skinnier than I am. So I had to go return it for a bigger size. And I got Pasternak instead because I do love me some pasta. Two things. I love Pasternak and I love pasta, and put them together, it's his jersey. I would like a Morgan Geeky jersey, but they don't make them. They make jerseys, and I might buy one if I ever go down to the TD Garden. Or if you know somebody who makes Morgan Geeky jerseys, that's my guy. That's my mom's guy. I have his picture. You can't see it. It's behind all this stuff. Oh, no, there he is. There's Morgan Geeky. I can't do this. I'm so bad. There we go. Morgan Geeky, signed card. He was a lovely gentleman. So they're doing okay. The Celtics, I mean, are doing a lot better than expected when we thought Jason Tatum was going to be out the whole season. He's still out, but the team is still rocking it. And Hugo Gonzalez, the new rookie, Jaylen Brown's doing the thing. Peyton and Sam are just hitting threes like nobody's business. And Neemias Queta, I love him too. So yeah, we're pretty in a good place for Patriots, which, or for Celtics. So we're not bad. So hopefully the Red Sox can just keep that we're doing good process going. So that's my sports minute, 2 minutes, whatever, with me. If you have questions about the Red Sox, feel free to reach out and I can tell you what I know, what I don't know, which is not a lot, but I can figure it out. And also I can give you my opinions, which is why I made this podcast in the first place. But without further ado, the first guest of the 2026 Baseball Books and Banter season 5 is Carmela Dutra, author of A Murder Most Fowl. So take a listen and enjoy. But welcome to the podcast, Carmela Dutra. Did I say that right? I meant to ask before. Just cold emailed me, or not even cold emailed me. She just cold scheduled, and I was like, perfect. I love it. I'll do this because it makes me feel like, oh, my name is out there. That's weird and cool. And we exchanged books, and I just started reading A Murder Most Fowl 2 nights ago. And as I was preparing for today, I'm going to tell you this is a secret, but not really. It centers on twins, or really Beth, and her brother is working with her. Just today, it clicked that they're Beth and Seth, and that I'm 5 chapters in, and I wrote it down. I was like, oh, Beth and Seth. I was like, Beth and Seth. So that's where my brain is at.
If that makes you feel any better, I didn't actually quite get that click for me when I was writing it until about maybe a third of the way the first draft. I was like, oh wait, I rhymed their names.
Yeah, completely.
And then it just worked, so I stuck with it.
Better that it was unintentional, to start. It just kind of makes it a little more organic and fun. But this is your debut, Cozy Mysteries.
It is, yes.
Welcome to the world. My baseball ones are also my debuts. So before we dive too deep into our informal, let's chat about books, why don't you tell people about yourself?
My name is Carmela. I'm from the Bay Area, and like you, I write cozy mysteries. A Murder Most Fowl is my debut cozy mystery. It's the first book in my food truck series. Book 2 is Hot Wings and Homicide. That comes out on May 12th, 2026. Yeah, we're in 26 now. Yeah, okay, sorry, I had to stop. I'm always that person who's off a half a year.
I feel
So it follows a set of fraternal twins who inherit a chicken-themed food truck from their late aunt. And in book 1, they enter a cooking competition that takes a deadly turn during the elimination round when a contestant is found dead in the back of their truck. Okay. So the stakes are very high for my sleuth because she was the last one seen arguing on camera with the victim. So for her, she needs to figure out what's going on and clear her name before she ends up on the chopping block next.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's a good elevator speech for your book. Mine is one sentence, and I was like, no, that's really good. And you probably honed that from your querying days, I'm sure.
Yeah, that helped a lot. And that elevator pitch is hard, and that one line is hard. And then it was when I was querying, I had to have it down to one sentence, and my sentence wasn't one. So I tried to make it. It was owning your own food truck is killer work, especially when murder is involved.
Love that.
And I was like, oh, but it was technically 2 sentences. So then I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to go with it and make it work.
I think because my first elevator pitch was take me out to a murder. Will Madeline strike out trying to find the killer? So mine was 2 as well.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. And that's how I got my first publisher it was through Twitter, and I had to condense it to 140 characters. This was back when Twitter was Twitter, and it was 140 characters.
It will always be Twitter.
I know. 100%. And back when it was 140 characters and you really had to like hone it in. And so I still say that all the time in my head. I'm like, no, that was really good. Good job, me. Like, don't know where it came from, but I'm into it. But I think that's important. And because it also helps when the book comes out, it helps you condense into the synopsis, which I
Yeah.
think is so hard to do too. Because obviously, as the author, you know everything that's happened. You don't necessarily want to write the synopsis with the spoilers. And I think by honing your pitch, honing your voice, honing the general idea of your series, that helps with that part.
And I had to learn the difference between the synopsis too, between what the agents want as a synopsis
Right.
versus what you're giving to readers as a synopsis.
Right.
Yeah, that was definitely a struggle for me to learn to bridge those two and then to find something that worked in the middle and then giving agents everything they needed, which is really hard, like you
Yeah.
said, because you write it, you know it from A to Z, or at least hopefully we do.
Yeah.
And then we have to condense that full 80,000 plus manuscript into 1 to 2 pages that covers all main plot points and spoilers for agents, but then take that same 80,000 and condense it down to what, 200 words for a reader?
Cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely challenging.
And it is it, I mean, I guess it's a fun exercise. Fun exercise. It's kind of a fun exercise.
But
Yeah. I'm like trying to like couch it. I'm like, it's a fun exercise if you haven't looked at your book in a long time, because I finished my third book like 2 years ago, but due to publishing and pandemic and everything, it's not coming out till September. So everything's like done, but now I can revisit it and it's not fresh in my mind. So I can go, oh, right, that happened. Okay. So now I can kind of make the back cover a little bit more reader friendly, because I'm going to be rereading it for like the first time. Like, oh my goodness, this is what I wrote. This is exciting. Um, but I'm also I'm not a plotter, so for me it's also hard because I'm just writing and then
oh, that's how I was.
okay, yeah, you're like was emphasis.
Yeah, I had to learn. My agent was very like honest with me. She's like, you're gonna learn to plot if
Yeah,
we're gonna work together. So I know what you mean about the whole you pantsed it.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, I did the same thing because in my mind I was like, anybody could be the killer. I'm gonna find out when the reader finds out as
yeah.
I was writing it. So yeah, major respect, huge kudos. You've done that with all of your books so far?
So far I have
Okay,
like
awesome.
I'm a pantser, but like I know I think it's better with a series because you know your main character, you know, like her circle, their circle. It's the outside circle people that you need to draw in. And I also usually know who the victim is. The killer is usually, I know who I want to be the killer in the beginning, but it could change. In
Yeah, definitely.
the second book started as a short story and the killer was different. And as I was expanding the short story, I was like, oh no, we need more. And so that's, I think, where that a little plotting came in, where I was like, okay, now I have to draw another character and make sure that it makes sense and not ruin everything. Who's your agent, by the way?
Lindsay Guzardo.
Okay.
She used to be with Martin Literary Management, and she just opened up her own agency now, Keystone Literary Agency.
Is she from
So she used
Pennsylvania?
to, one more time?
I said, is she from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, she is back there. Yeah, so
Keystone.
she did name it after the Keystone State.
Yep.
Yeah. And so she used to be an editor. She was
Okay.
with Penguin, she was with Signet, she was with Amazon, I think a few other places too. So she came from being an editor
Mhm.
and then she transitioned into the agent side. And so she very much has that editorial approach to everything.
Yeah.
And for her, plotting is, yeah, plotting. And so it really did help me because I realized looking back, I already did a little bit of plotting, and I think that's true with most pantsters. There's
Right.
always a certain amount of plotting there,
Sure.
whether you want to admit it or not. There has to be that certain little bit
Maybe
to
not
help
a
direct it.
formal process of, oh, I wrote it down and here's how each beat by beat by
Yeah,
beat or outline. But yeah, there is a little bit of, you kind of know what's going to happen. You just
yeah.
got to figure out everything else in the middle.
So then I went from pantsing to then I went to the opposite extreme where my plot was almost a full manuscript.
Oh wow.
Um, and then so now 4 books later, I've kind of found my middle ground with that, and I still have that room to let surprises happen. Like I just
Yeah.
finished the first draft of book 3 in my food truck series, and the killer that I originally had set is no longer that killer anymore that I had plotted and I had done all
Yeah.
that stuff. After I got to the end of it, I'm like, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
That individual does not work, but this person over here does. And so it was just a easy kill my darling, move on, grab this
Yep.
person, slot you in there, and here we go.
Oh, I love that. And that is true. I think when people hear the word plotter, when I say people, I mean May, it's like, oh, it has to be this very intricate, all like the what is it, the Charlie Day meme from Always Sunny with the rope with the strings and the kid, and he's like smoking a cig, and he's like, it goes from here to here to here, and that's how you picture it in your head. But it could be just as simple as like each, here's the full day, here's what's going to happen, the big beats, and then being surprised by the minutia of the book, I guess. I think that's really kind of an important point for people to know, that outline's good, but it doesn't necessarily tie you to anything. Unless your agent,
Yeah.
no, I really want that person to be the killer, or your publisher,
No.
whomever, and they don't care.
That's not my case.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not in my case.
So did you always have the idea for the food truck? Is that always been the idea, or was it a kind of, did it change through the years, or did you mold it to fit a certain agent, or how did that work? How did that come about?
So with my cozy mystery, so the first manuscript that I wrote for adult literature and queried was a science fiction. I don't know why I did that. It was horrible. I shouldn't have queried it, but I did. But I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from it, and it was those agents that helped me to find, okay, cozy mystery was my path, which that's over 80% of my reading anyway. So I don't know why I didn't go there. But yeah, no, food truck was always the setting from the beginning, and that came about because I wanted something different. I wanted, just like, I really like your setting. You have that baseball. You don't have too many cozy mysteries that are sports centric, and I like that. So I really I love that you have that unique angle to it. And so for me, I wanted something like that. I love my bookshop mysteries. I love my coffee shop. I just wanted something different. And I live in the Bay Area where food trucks are everywhere. We have festivals for food trucks. There, no matter where you go, you can find a food truck. And so that became the setting for me, because then I can also take that no matter where I'm at, and I can explore different parts of the Bay Area.
Oh yeah.
So that's always been my setting. The twins, I always knew it would be about a set of fraternal twins, but it actually didn't start off where it was Beth and Seth. It was originally just Beth, and her brother would maybe pop in maybe once or twice. And it was my agent who's like, no, I really like him. I want to see him as the perfect counterbalance to her, because she's your chaotic sunshine and he's much more pragmatic and follow the rules. He's the lawyer. And she's like, he could bail her out of jail. He could bail her out of problems. And I was like, yeah, so that's how those two worked out. It was my agent helping direct that.
And I love that character. And I think we need more of that character.
And she was totally right. Yeah. That's a lot of the feedback that I've gotten, is people love that it's more about a set of twins who are doing it together, even though it is more, it's told in her POV. Yeah. It's hers, but he does have a central part with her.
A stake in it. And you kind of see that, I mean, right out the gate, because like you said, this isn't a spoiler because it's the first chapter, he bails her out of jail, and
in a chicken outfit,
in a chicken suit. Yeah. And we won't say any more about that. I haven't learned Officer Pretty Boy's name yet, but I'm very intrigued by him. But I also, as I have a younger brother, not twins obviously, but their relationship feels very much an organic sibling relationship. Like they needle each other, but you can tell there's love behind it. And if my brother's listening, love you, bro. But let's be honest, we needle the crap out of each other. And we're in our 40s. So, it's like, which I love saying because now he's 40, so I can actually say that. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that, as I'm starting to read the book, you really get the sense of the family space. But obviously it was her aunt's food truck, clucking good, because it's chicken. And that's actually, now I have a good question about that. Do you cook the food? Like some of the, I'm again, just in the beginning, and it's what did they have to make? Like a dessert, right? it's the first, seafood, fish and chips.
Seafood, yeah, fish and
So
chips.
I remember why I
There's a
thought you
dessert
were,
truck.
yeah, exactly. I was like,
There's
oh,
the dessert truck.
boys, that's right.
Yeah.
So are you a cook?
I do cook, but the wings are my husband's recipes. And
Oh,
so all the recipes in the back of the book are my husband's chicken wings, and I
oh.
promise no one has died when he's made them. If anybody replicates them at home, I can't make that same,
Sure, sure.
disclaimer for
I
you.
don't know what your kitchen looks like. I don't know your hygiene at the kitchen.
And I don't know if there's any feelings towards somebody you're cooking for. I
Sure,
don't
sure,
know.
sure, sure,
But yeah,
sure. We
the
are
wings are
mystery authors. Yes.
the wings are his recipes.
Oh, that's awesome.
The mac and cheese poppers that are in the back of the book, those are my recipes.
Okay.
So him and I do we equal shares of cooking. So and the whole chicken thing came about was because my family loves fried chicken,
Sure.
and we were in a chicken restaurant here in the Bay Area called Plucked when I was kind of coming up with this
Great
whole
name.
idea. So that's how it all came together. The food truck, Plucked, the twins. It was based loosely off my grandmother, who's a twin.
Oh.
So that's how it all came together.
Is that who the book's dedicated to?
The first book, yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first book is dedicated to my grandmother and her twin sister.
That's
So
adorable.
they, unfortunately, both of them
Yeah.
passed before
Oh.
this book was published. But when it was first in the very beginning stages, I did tell my grandma about it, and she said that
Oh.
it sounded funny to her. And they always loved those murder mysteries, those
Yep.
Murder She Wrote,
Oh, yeah.
the Crow and Mrs. King, Matlock, what have you.
Yep.
So they always loved watching those things. So
Oh.
yeah, there's those little tidbits in there for them.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah, my first book was to my grandparents, and unfortunately, they have not been around. They were not around for the start of it. So, but I think, it's one of those things, that no matter what you believe in, you just want to think that if they're out there, they're like, good on you. Good job, kid. And that's a downer for that conversation. But the book Murder Most Fowl. Wait, so this is your debut,
Mhm.
and you're taking it to all the conferences as your debut. So like I know you're doing Left Coast Crime because that's right there in
Yeah.
Calgary this year. Is that Calgary?
It's no, that's BoucherCon.
That's right.
Left Coast is going to be in San Francisco.
Oh my God, that's like home.
That's my hometown. Yeah. Yeah, so it is my Murder Most Fowl.
Yeah.
Murder Most Fowl will be with me there.
Awesome.
Because book 2 doesn't come out until May.
Sure.
So then after that one's released, we'll see what conferences look like afterwards and how that works. If it's both of them, this is my first one, so I'm jumping in with both feet, and I'll kind of figure it out as I go along.
As you should, because honestly, that's the funnest. Yes, I'm a writer. Funnest part of being an author is have you gone to any of the conferences prior to this?
No, this will
Oh
be
my
my
God,
first
you're going to
one.
love it. Oh my God. All my friends are going to be at Left Coast Crime, and you're going to make friends with them. And then they're all going to try to convince you to come to Malice Domestic in April over here in Bethesda, Maryland. So
I want to. I wish I could this April.
Yeah. You are so far away.
It is. I know. I'm on the complete opposite side, and I'm like, that's always there. So that is on my radar. I'm hoping for next year, where I can better plan. Yeah, and they're both pretty close. So, to have Left Coast in February, March, and then in April, I knew with my schedule and having 2 small kids, I just couldn't swing that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And so, yeah, my first one, doing it in my backyard, basically my hometown area. And so I am excited. There's definitely some, anxiety. It's definitely that feeling of like new girl in high school walking in.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know some of the authors who are already going there. I am really excited about like 2 weeks before I'll be at Kepler's Books in Menlo Park doing a mystery panel with Cara Black, with Michelle Chouinard, with Gigi. Oh gosh.
Yeah, she writes
the Lock Room.
Yeah,
the Lock Room Mysteries. And then there's another author who's also just escaped me, but she writes the female Sherlock Holmes, the Beekeeper's Apprentice.
Yeah. What's her name? Oh my God. I know
Oh
all these
gosh.
people
I
too.
know. Yeah.
And I get that
But of
way all the
course,
time.
I
I'm like,
blank.
I want to recommend books, and I'm like, I've forgotten everything I've read.
It's a blue cover. I can tell
Yeah,
you that. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to be with, it's going to be five of us. So, and they're all going to be at Left Coast too. So I get to meet them before Left Coast. And then one of my fellow debuts from Crooked Lane is going to be there, Jennifer Vanderklut. So we're going to get to meet in person like the
Yeah.
week before and then go to Left Coast together for
Oh,
our first debut conference. So it's
that's
really exciting.
awesome. Sherry Thomas is the author
Thank you.
I'm thinking
Okay.
of.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
because I
you.
love that series and I love her writing. And I'm like, I know that book and I love that series. What is it? So Sherry Thomas, everybody, that's a recommendation. Are you so? Is the mystery panel that you're doing with all those authors, is that a sisters in crime thing, or is that just you guys are all in the area and just ready to party at a
Kepler's is
bookstore?
putting it together.
That's
Yeah, so
awesome.
Kepler's is I like the largest independent bookstore here in California, or one of them, and they do a lot of events. So I had already had been in talks with Kepler's last year before A Murder Most Fowl came out, and the event coordinator had then told me, she's like, I think I want to do a mystery panel. So if we're able to put that together, I'm gonna call and let you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. So I'm like, I'm over here thinking like, oh, it's gonna be maybe one, maybe two.
Right.
I'm not thinking anything of it. And then I get all the information after I've confirmed. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it was exciting, but it was this moment of,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I'm going to be like with all the different branches of mystery. So we're just
Yeah.
coming together and we're all Bay Area authors
And
too.
I was
So
going
it's
to
also
say,
going to be really cool.
I love that it's a panel where you have people who have like 20 books, and then you have people who have like two books or one book. And
Hmm.
I just think that more panels need to be done like that because, it's intimidating. Like here on the East Coast, we have like Edith Maxwell and Barbara Ross, and they've written like 25, 35 books. And so when you're doing a panel with them, you're like, am I behind? And they're like, no, we just have written a lot of books. And I think people need to see there was a time they only had one book and or two books, and all is not lost. You can keep
Yeah.
writing. And I think
I
that's
talked with
great.
I talked with my agent about it and I let her know and I was at that point I was having that moment of like
Yeah.
trepidation of like, oh gosh, I'm just the baby debut
Yeah.
author over here. And she's like, no, you're not just the baby debut. All of them started off as debuts. And it's so true because and all of us there were all different genres within the mystery
Right.
that are going to be on that panel,
Right.
which I think is really cool. So the anybody who's in attending will have someone who represents their
Right.
version of mystery,
Right.
whether that's the locked room, that's the cozy side, that's the historical,
Mhm.
that's a little bit of the darker side. And then having the different experiences, like you said, from the 20 books to the debut, someone who's been writing for the last 10 years, someone who just came out of query trenches not
Yeah.
too long ago. So there's all these different elements that are going to be brought to the panel. So that's really exciting for me.
And I think that's nice for, as we call ourselves, baby authors, but baby authors, like who are like, I don't know if I want to write. I have a story, but like, I don't know. Also, to see people that maybe have day jobs that write stories, and not to be like she can have it all, but there is a way to manage. I say this as someone who hasn't written all weekend. I mean, I've had off for 2 days now, and I painted my bathroom instead of writing. So that's where kind of my headspace is at the moment. I think it's because we're getting ready for snow. And so I'm like planning, and I'm like, okay, maybe tomorrow during that, and the Patriots are back in the playoffs. So I'm like nervous about that. But I think it's good for authors and even prospective authors to see there isn't just one way of doing things.
Yeah, for sure.
That I don't have to write
Hmm.
cozy like if you go to a cozy mystery panel, you're like, oh, it's all cozy. That's not my vibe. See, there's different. And I love this period wherein I talked about it at a panel I was at last weekend. I said, this is the time if you want to write something to write it, because there is a reader out there for everyone.
Oh, totally.
And yes, there are rules, but the rules can be changed, i.e., a food truck mystery. That's not something people have done. A baseball mystery. You don't have to feel pigeonholed. Oh, it's a cozy, so it's a librarian, which I love a librarian cozy,
I
but
do too.
you don't have to be. And I think people need to see that there's that, like, Adrian Andover, who you'll see at Left Coast Crime, I think, he writes whiskey business, and his is a gay man owning a whiskey bar, and that's not something I've seen in cozies, and it's a great cozy.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself. He's so nice. He's been on here before.
We we had a brief interaction on Instagram. So yeah,
Okay.
I did because I was congratulating him because I saw he got nominated for a Lefty, and I'm really excited for
Yeah.
all the
Oh my
authors who
God.
got nominated. And so he is going to come. So we did
Hey.
make plans to be able to say hello and to meet each other formally, not just through a
I
screen.
know.
So I'm really
Oh,
excited
good.
for that to be able to meet him, to meet other debuts, to
Yeah.
meet other more experience, and then just also, like you said, within the different cozy, because cozy is a big part of the mystery world, of the mystery writing, and there's so many different subgenres, and
Right.
it's growing each time, from culinary to paranormal, to you have the bookmobiles, you have librarians, you have coffee shops, you have the pets, you have whatever you basically can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, there's knitting, there's beekeepers.
Yeah.
It can happen. If
Exactly.
you can make
Oh,
the story, it can happen.
right. And I think that makes it fun for a genre because you never know quite what you're going to get. Like,
Yeah.
I had this talk with Karina Moss too, who writes the Cheese Shop Mysteries. The pet in her book is a fish, and
Yes, I have read her series,
yeah, and
yeah, and I did like that. It's different.
people are like, oh, I didn't think I was going to like it because it's a fish, but then the fish has personality, and you're like, oh, that works for people that don't have cats and dogs. And I know
Mhm.
you have cats and dogs both.
I have three cats and a dog.
Oh,
But in my food truck series, in book two, I bring in an emotional support chicken.
oh, good.
So
Because you
yeah,
need
that was
that,
also something too, is like I love the animals, but I'm like,
but it's hard in a
it is
food truck.
usually it is also usually cats and it is usually dogs.
Yeah,
And so I did like you mentioned how Karina Moss, she has, I think it was like a beta fish
yeah.
was in hers. So that's something different. And I was like, oh, and there was what I want to say there was a series, was it Amanda Flower? And there was like a pig, or maybe I'm confusing her with a different author. But
Well, I
there
know
strawberries and crime is what I was thinking of. And it was like a farm and there was like a pig or something.
Donna Ray Menard has a pig, and the only reason I know that is because she had a pig in real life, and her books
Oh,
are
don't tell my youngest.
yeah. I'm
Pigs are his
trying.
favorite.
He was a
But yeah, this
450-pound pig. She's the best. But yeah, no, I think that's important too, is to show that it's not one size fits all. Although now I'm nervous about the chicken because now I'm like, a chicken?
there's no chickens harmed in the making of
No,
my
no,
book, and
obviously
there's no
not. I
chickens
wouldn't.
harmed in the book.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. We wouldn't be talking if there was a dead chicken. Well, I guess
No.
there are dead chickens, but not the dead chicken because that would, but it's like the cinnamon toast crunch commercials. This is what happens with my brain where they're like eating each other. And I'm like, what? This is no bueno. And so like, I'm the emotion support chicken. I hope he doesn't see his friends going into fried chicken.
I No, I actually do have a scene in a book two where she has the chicken with her because she finds the chicken. They basically find each other.
Oh,
And then she's like looking at the chicken and she can't bring herself to serve chicken around the chicken, so
yeah.
she only serves the sliders. Because I have it chicken and beef sliders. And
Yeah, yeah.
so it's like you get French fries or you get sliders. Nobody gets chicken when the chicken is
Yeah.
around. So and I did, and I and I named the chicken teriyaki. I
Oh
did.
my God. That's going to be my dinner tonight, actually, like legitly. So that now is even
So,
scarier. Oh, I love that. But I think that's what makes, and I'm finding as I'm reading your book, there's a humor in it that feels very organic. You're not like Ellen Byron's books are that way too, where you're not forcing yourself to be funny. It's kind of just comes out naturally. So well done.
thank
Which
you.
it's like I feel like sometimes this podcast turns into me turning into the Chris Farley character who's like, hey, remember when you did that? That was cool. Yeah, you're cool. Like I feel like that turns into a lot of it sometimes because I am a fan of the genre. I'm a fan of learning how people work. I'm a fan of learning where their ideas come from. I think it's important in a creative field to be like, oh, we're and because I am cheap and I don't pay for Zoom, we have 10 minutes left. But I did want to touch on, I saw on your website you have two children's books that you wrote and illustrated. So you're a drawer
Yeah.
too.
So that's where I started. I started in children's picture books, and I had written five. So there was a three-book series about a bear and his friends, about the importance of friendships and how to treat other people. And then the two books on my website are STEM education. Little Katie goes to the moon, and Little Katie explores the coral reefs. So those was working almost exclusively with school districts.
Yep.
We're in a very STEM focused part of the area,
Yeah.
and a lot of the elementary schools here focus on STEM education. So I had used those books and I was working with them. Pandemic happened
Yep.
and everything, shut
Fell
down right
apart.
up. And that's how I ended up in adult literature. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how I made that jump over.
Do you have any input since you are an illustrator with your covers?
I give some
Mhm.
ideas of what it is that I'm looking for, of what I'd like to see, but I'm not anything to do with the covers. That they have an in-house designer for those.
Who's the publisher? Crooked?
Crooked Lane
Yeah,
Books.
Crooked Lane. Okay. Yeah, they're good because the covers are good too. And I'm excited by the Hot Wings one because it's very bright and very,
Yeah,
hi, everybody. So
I'm very excited for that one too.
going to be
Yeah.
really cool. Um, so before we get to the end of this, I do always ask if you have any book recommendations for the audience, either books that you've loved, books that have changed your life, or just books you've just finished reading and you're like, hey, you should read it. It's pretty good.
I'm actually starting the Serial Killer's Guide to San Francisco by Michelle Chenard, and I'm listening to that on audiobook, and I really like it. It's giving me that true crime podcast vibe meets mystery, so it almost has like a cozy adjacent feel to
Yeah,
it. So I'm really enjoying
that
those.
sounds good.
If you like historical
I
mysteries, I
do.
do. In the Veronica Speedwell series
Ah,
is one of my favorites
the
by
best.
Deanna Ray. Yeah,
Yes.
I love those. The
Speaking
Deanna
of
Rayborn. Yeah.
sparky, humorous women, yeah, the new one's coming out, and I've already entered like a million Goodreads giveaways for it because I'm on top of that.
So yeah, those definitely I will always recommend the Veronica Speedwell series. I love it.
Yeah, I love that one. I don't know. Annalee Huber is also a good historical. She has two historical ones, the Lady Darby, which started with the
I don't know if I've read that.
no, you would like it. If you like Veronica Speedwell, it's a little less snappy than Veronica Speedwell, but it's the same kind of she was the main Lady Darby was an assistant to her husband who was an anatomist and he had her draw. So then he
Yeah.
died and then there was whole bunch of things and there's a hot guy in it who now they're married and have children. Spoiler alert, it's a 15-book series, so there's a lot that happens. But then she also has another one that's pre-war, um, pre-World War II, Verity Kent, which is another smart talking woman. So I love those. And then I was just going to say another one, and it just was like right out of my head.
There's
Oh,
also the Lady Petra series
yes.
that's also a really good one.
And Susanna Calkins. No, well, she has a good one too, but I can't think of the name. The Sebastian St. Cyr series. Look at us. We're so bad at these
I
names.
know.
But the
That's
Sebastian
okay, but I
St.
love it.
Cyr
I'm
series.
gonna look this up.
Yeah, the Sebastian St. Cyr series is another good one. Um, Historical, strong woman, really hot, mysterious Duke guy type vibe. I love a good mysterious Duke. You can't go wrong with those. Um, but where could people find you other than Left Coast Crime and what was it? Capillary Books?
Kepler's. Yeah, I'm very active on social media. The two biggest platforms is Instagram and Facebook. My handle is the same, author Carmela Dutra, or my website, carmeladutra.com. And if you are an author who's looking to maybe query agents or wanting to know a little bit more behind the scenes, I have a blog series, an author's guide to querying, where I just lay it all out on the line, everything I experienced. And I'm starting a new one, an author's guide to submissions, being on submission, something like that. Yeah. So where I share the backside of what my submission experience was
So like
like.
after you get
So,
the agent and you have the book and then they're putting it out there to try to get somebody to
mm,
buy it and publish it, which
yeah.
I can only
And it
imagine.
looks different for everyone. Because
Yeah.
like for me, when I when I signed with my agent, I knew I was going to have a lot of work to do. So we spent about 9 to 10 months doing a full
Wow.
restructure and revision of my
Oh
manuscript
wow.
before we went on submission. And then there are some authors you hear they get an agent and they go almost immediately on
Yeah.
submission. So it's
Yeah.
really different for everyone.
Um, with your agent, was that as a result of the querying, or did you meet her somewhere and talk, or was it query tracker, or did you just cold email with your pitch and hope for the best?
Query tracker, cold query through query tracker. Yeah. And so, it actually, query tracker closed it out as a close with no response.
Oh, wow.
And then I got an email from her, and she's like, is this still available? Because
Yeah,
I'm interested. And I was like, what? Yes, let's talk. Yeah, really, basically.
Right. Yes. That's too funny. Well, it was a pleasure. And I'm so glad you cold scheduled, because this was great. And I can't wait to meet you, hopefully IRL, at one of these conferences. I don't fly, so hopefully you do, and you can come out this way. Eventually I'll fly again. I don't know. That's the anxiety talking, but I think it would be really fun. And I can't, like I said, I'm getting through book 1 and I'm hoping to finish it this weekend because we're gonna have a snowstorm, and then I'll be like all aboard for book 2, because I love Beth and Seth, and Officer Pretty Boy, who I'm sure has a name at some point in the book, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't ask questions.
I guess you'll have to wait and see.
I guess that's how you keep reading. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for having me. This has been wonderful. So much fun. And yes, I can't wait to meet in real life.
Yes. Wasn't she great? I'm so glad she cold emailed me, because I think we had a really great discussion, and I've already invited her back in May when the second book comes out, because like I said, if you like a humorous but very cozy mystery, and Beth and Seth, which again, I feel really dumb for not realizing that was rhyming at the beginning of the book. I really enjoy that. And so we'll see what happens, but I hope you enjoy. I hope you pick up her book, and I wish her all the luck at Left Coast Crime and any other conferences coming up. And hopefully I get to meet her IRL soon. So I'm going to jump right into the books that I'm recommending, because I seem to always forget to do this at the end. And then I'm like, oh no, the books, I got to get the books. So I just finished 2 books from the library. The first one is The Devil in Oxford, which is a Ruby Vaughn mystery. I think it's the 3rd in this series. It is the 3rd, The Curse of Penrith Hall and the Secret of the 3 Fates. Again, right after World War I, mystery, mystical, hot guys, all that good stuff. It was very spooky, very atmospheric. Enjoyed it very much. So check out the Ruby Vaughn mystery series. The second one from the library is the second in the Doomed Earth series, which is Destiny's Way. This is a book. I'm trying to think of what the first one was. I should probably just help. So I read the first one. It was a complete random book outlet purchase, because I don't know if you know, I love sci-fi. And the first one's called In Our Stars. Guys, when I tell you this book, if you could look out your window at what's going on in Minneapolis right now, there are a lot of parallels with this book. And it was at times I had to put it to the side because it was getting to be too real, even though it's about aliens in space. It's about the difference in people, and it's and how people can stoke fear of the other, no matter what it is, whether it's race or gender or human or alien, or coming from our country, coming from a different time period. So I definitely had to put it down. This guy is a former Navy guy, so I was really excited when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, my dad, I wonder if he knows him. Of course my dad has no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay. So I really enjoyed this. I might try to pick up some of his other sci-fi, because he has a ton of books, which is always nice to see. I love when I see a bunch of books. Look at all those books. That's a lot of books that he had written. So we'll see. A lot of military sci-fi. I like a good space opera, so we'll see. So check out Jack Campbell's series. Destiny's Way is the second one. It's a duology, so it's a 1 and 2 books. Pretty easy peasy. The other book, I'm really excited. I haven't jumped into it yet. I'm also, other than A Murder Most Fowl, I'm also reading an advanced copy of Kim Hardman Shapiro's latest book. She asked for a blurb, so I'm about halfway through that. And so, Kim, if you're listening, it's coming, I swear. The other book I'm really excited. This series has been one of my favorites. This is I always do this too late. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th book in the Ripples in Time series by Julie McElwain. When I went to BoucherCon in 2016 in New Orleans, I was not even an author yet. My book had just been finished written. I just finished writing the first draft of my book. I talked to somebody with the Guppies who transferred their registration to me because they couldn't go. Charlotte Gruber, shout out. And I had a great time. New Orleans is way too hot for me. My little body can't handle it. But one of the things you get to do is you get to, again, it's like every conference. This was a big conference. BoucherCon is like a giant thousands of people conference, and that's a lot of people. I love a smaller conference, but it was fun to go to BoucherCon for once. So I was in line, meeting some of my favorite authors, and she happened to be there with her first book, Ripples in Time, and she just gifted it to me. She just said, hey, here's the last one. Go ahead and take it and read it. And now I've been in on this series since the beginning, and I'm going to keep shouting it out so much. It's very similar. Well, I think it's a time slip novel. So an FBI agent hides in a closet, or she chases a bad guy into a closet and ends up in like Victorian, Edwardian times. And why do I love it? I just love that kind of vibe. So I'm very excited to jump into the 7th one. It just came out. And I had to make sure I got a hard copy because I was like, no, I need this in my hands. She has a couple of the Ripples in Time series are actually in mass market paperback. And I think I have them somewhere in and on one of these shelves. And I wish I could have pulled it out quickly, but definitely check it out if you're into mystery, thriller, suspense with a little romance with the historical aspect. So that's the 3rd one that I'm jumping into today. I might go get my feet done before the snow hits, and this is going to be what I'm reading. Also big news for 2026. I am currently the president of Sisters in Crime New England, which still feels so weird to say. I've never held a position of power. And and my vice president, I've talked about before, Glade, is amazing. So we're really working on revamping the website first and foremost. And our plan for the fall, we're going to be leading up to this, is we're going to have the website revamped sooner rather than later. And then we're going to start trying to reach out to colleges and other Sisters in Crimes group to try to meld our resources. But we want to get some young writers, people who may not know that they want to be mystery writers, but they've been writing, Nancy Drew style since they were kids, and they want to expand on that knowledge. And even then, even if you're not going to become a mystery writer, just the vibe, the community, the writing knowledge that you get, because we have programs every month. Sisters in Crime Worldwide does programs every month, every couple weeks. They do podcasts, they do classes, they have, you can ask questions. So that's some of the stuff we're going to get in. So if you have any ideas, or if you're interested in learning more about Sisters in Crime Worldwide and New England, you have to join Worldwide before you can join your chapter, but you can also join multiple chapters. So I have friends who are from New Jersey who belong to the Desert Sleuths and Rocky Mountain Mystery Writers. So definitely check it out. The chapter dues are usually not expensive. You pay, for your yearly dues for Worldwide, or you can even go lifetime memberships and then not have to worry about it. But you get special discounts at conferences, stuff like that, and our speakers bureau. So we have an event coming up this week, January 21st, with the amazing Donna Ray Menard, who I've talked about on this podcast before because I love her. And I'll be moderating that discussion. So go to our website and check it out and register if you're a member, and check it out and see if you might like it. And if you need a gift link, if you're not a member yet and you're like, I want to see if I'm going to like the people first, fine. We're really great. But we also do in-person events. Just reach out to me, basically. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have a concern, I will listen. I don't know if I'll be able to act on it right away, but I can at least listen and try to help you get to what you need from this organization. So stay tuned for that. sincne.org is the website, Sisters in Crime New England. And we're currently working it. We have a great web person doing it right now who lives out of Atlanta, Maritza Ivy. So if you need website work, definitely check her out. She's very reasonable and very communicative. I have to actually send her an email today. So, and then we got a couple more podcasts lined up. The return of Dale Phillips. He's coming back. Darlene DeZamba is going to come back this season. She's got a new book coming out. I got another baseball writer. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Jim and Sandy Manning, who I met at Crime Bake. So again, if you're interested, just do what Carmela did and just put yourself on my calendar. And usually I'm really good at keeping up with it. Last week was just a little bit of a mess. So that's why we did it today, and she was great, and I can't wait to talk to her again. So I think that's all I have to tell you. I have no events coming up. The new book's coming out in September, so we're working through things. I have ebook copies available on my website. If you're while they're not on Amazon yet, you can order on my website. I also have signed copies of the little bit. Did I bring it? Yes, I did. I quickly just printed on demand. And so these are a little bit smaller books. They're not the trade paperback size, but they're a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to read. So if you need copies of book 1 or 2, check that out on the website and I will send it directly to you. And on that note, I have my captain watching birds in the snow. I got to fill the bird feeders. Madeline's sleeping. Since the last talk, Fern unfortunately lost her battle with kidney disease. So I am open for another cat because you can never have too many. But Fern, speaking of Donna Ray, who had given me her, was an amazing cat, and I miss her already every day. She was so funny and such an attitude, and it's just rough when that happens when they're young. So hug your cats tightly if you have them. Hug your pets, hug your family, and go Pats, and happy reading.